Hey y'all, welcome back for another What's for Dinner video. In this one, I'm sharing 4 meals that we've had recently and then also a really yummy dessert recipe that I make at the end of the video, and the boys helped me make it. It was so good, like too good. Y'all don't want to miss out on that. But I hope this video gives you guys some new meal ideas and just some easy recipes that you can make for you and your family that are still going to be delicious. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get on into cooking. So for this first one, it's super simple. It's going to be Sloppy Joe sliders, and this was so good. Travis even said that he prefers it like this and doesn't know if he could eat it the regular way. So you basically just need the same ingredients, except we got a loaf of French bread that we're going to cut in half. We do have a can of manwich to keep it simple, some cheddar cheese, a pound of ground beef, green peppers, and some chopped onions as well. So obviously when you're cooking Sloppy Joe, the first thing you need to do is cook the ground beef, and I do like to add some green peppers and onions, but that's totally optional. And then the next step is to pour your manwich right in there, or if you make a homemade manwich sauce or Sloppy Joe sauce, I cannot talk. I would love to hear if you guys make your own, because that would be interesting to me. I've never tried to make my own. Then after that, I went ahead and cut my French bread in half completely and spread out all of that Sloppy Joe mixture. After that, all you do is sprinkle your cheese on top on your baking sheet and then stick it in the oven on 350 for 10 to 12 minutes, just until that cheese gets nice and melty and the bread gets a little bit toasty. Y'all, like I said, this was delicious. We loved it. Don't know if we'll be eating Sloppy Joe's normal again, because this is so good, and it feeds quite a bit of people. This would be like a good appetizer for game day or anything like that. But we had it with some broccoli. I still can't talk apparently, but we served it with some broccoli and just kept it simple, the steamable bag of broccoli, and it was definitely delicious, and we will be having this again. So that last one was Travis's favorite, but this one was my personal favorite of the week. It was so good. It's just sheet pan Greek chicken, and it was definitely a favorite. I've got some chicken tenderloins that I cut up, and then some Skinny Girl balsamic vinaigrette dressing, some salt and pepper, oregano, garlic powder for some seasonings. I used a few of these grape tomatoes, not too many because we're not crazy about them, and then a green pepper, red pepper, and half of a red onion. So the first thing I do is just chop up all of my veggies. This was actually made the night before because I was going to put it all in a Ziploc bag and let it marinate overnight so that all of those juices marinate, and I'm so glad I did. Usually I'm impatient and don't do all that extra steps, I guess you'd call it, but I'm very glad I did. It had a great flavor, so I'm just chopping up all the veggies, and I'm curious to know if you guys actually like watching people chop veggies. I personally love it, but I know some people aren't crazy about it, so maybe you can let me know in the comments down below. So the next thing I did was chop up my chicken, and those little tendons in the chicken were giving me quite the fit. And then I remembered, after struggling for a while, that a TikTok video I had seen where you could use a fork and a paper towel to pull them out. So I thought I would share that trick because I actually used it for the first time with it working, and it was literally, it blew my mind. So I just thought I would share that in case nobody else knows it, or some of you haven't seen it rather. It's so easy. You just take the tendon with the paper towel and take your fork to the top of the chicken and pull it apart, and it literally takes the whole tendon out. Blew my mind. Next, I got my Ziploc bag out and started on the marinade. So I had half a bottle of the Skinny Girl dressing, and then I used a little bit of another bottle. I'm not sure why I had 2 in the fridge open, and poured those in there along with a little bit of garlic powder, oregano leaves, salt and pepper to taste. So I got everything put into my Ziploc bag, took the air out, and then massaged everything together to get everything combined, and then stuck it in the fridge overnight. Now on to the next day. I sprayed my 9x13. Is it a 9x13? I'm not really sure. I sprayed my cookie pan baking sheet and just literally dump everything onto the baking sheet. And then I also used some feta cheese. I can't remember if I actually showed you that in the beginning. I think I didn't. Maybe I didn't. I've got a 5-ounce thing of feta cheese though, and I sprinkled that right on top of it. And you want to put this under your broiler for, mine cooked for about 15 minutes, but you just kind of have to check it and make sure that it gets to temp. And like I said, this one was so good. Not a favorite with the kids, but honestly they don't count because sometimes they don't even like mac and cheese and pizza, so their vote doesn't count, but I absolutely loved it and can't wait to have it again. This next one is going to be some homemade Alfredo on the stove. I was going to do it in the Instant Pot, but then realized I didn't have chicken broth and I make it completely different in the Instant Pot. I have made this kind before, but we're making it into sausage Alfredo this time. And then in hindsight, I'm kind of cracking up at how I made this. You'll see, and I'll let you know when I'm doing it. But for this, I've got my thing of smoked sausage that I just cut up and put in a separate pan to cook. Also do some salt and pepper, minced garlic, lemon and pepper seasoning, a container of heavy whipping cream, and then obviously your noodles of choice, and then some butter, and I do use a little bit of cream cheese too. So in a medium-sized pot on the stove, I add probably like 2 tablespoons of the cream cheese, and then 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream, and then a whole stick of butter. This is what is cracking me up, and then a teaspoon of minced garlic. Don't want to forget that. But I set that on medium heat. Let's just talk about the butter real quick though. The butter, I put a whole stick in it, and I would not suggest doing that. Like, don't get me wrong, it turned out amazing and delicious, but it also just tasted a little bit dangerous, if you know what I mean. It made it pretty greasy, and I don't know what I was thinking adding the butter. Just disregard that. So for the sausage, you just want to cook that. I did a little bit of minced garlic with that too, just a few minutes on each side, and that's it. But for this Alfredo, you want to take it to a boil, and then once it's boiling, add in 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, and then some salt and pepper to taste. Well, I don't do pepper because I add this lemon pepper seasoning. I got this idea to add lemon pepper seasoning from Kayla at the Unmodern Millennial. She added it to hers like, I don't know, a few months back, and we've been adding it ever since. I absolutely love the flavor that it adds, so if you haven't tried that, you should definitely give it a try. You want to let that Alfredo sauce cook on the stove until it gets thick, stirring it every once in a while. It probably took about 10 minutes for it to get thick enough to our liking. And then here's mine in the bowl. We kept the boys separate, and I added some crushed red pepper to ours because I think it tastes yummy. And for the boys, we do like the sausage separately so that they still eat the Alfredo, and it worked because this is always a family favorite. We all love the Alfredo. So if you saw my grocery haul on Monday that I posted, you know that my back has been hurting and I didn't feel like cooking every night this week. So Travis volunteered to make this one. It's a Copycat chicken strips. Copycat Chick-fil-A chicken strips. And for that, we've got some chicken tenderloins. This is pickle juice, believe it or not. This is half a cup of pickle juice. And then for other seasonings, we've got some pepper, onion powder, paprika, garlic salt, and basil. And then we also needed some vegetable oil to fry it in, some powdered sugar. And then this is what we were supposed to be having with it. Disregard the waffle cut fries though, because they were freezer burnt out the wazoo, and they were also 2 years old. We were trying to clean out the freezer and it backfired on us. But we did have the Velveeta mac and cheese with it. First thing Travis did was put all of the chicken into a Ziploc bag with the pickle juice just to let that marinate while he gets the other things prepped up. It was supposed to marinate for an hour, but like I said earlier in the video, we rarely do that. Then into a bowl, he added all the dry ingredients, so a cup of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of basil, and then there was supposed to be half a teaspoon of celery powder too, but we didn't have any. We couldn't find it at the store. I will leave the recipe that I'm following in the description box below though, so you can like see it all. And then for the wet ingredients, he did 1 large egg with 1/4 a cup of milk mixed together. The oil, he heated that up on medium heat, and look at those angles, y'all. He did so good. For the chicken, he dunked it into the egg mixture and then over to the flour mixture, setting it on a plate until it was ready to cook. He cooked that on both sides for about 5 minutes each, just until it got to 165 degrees.
gourmet Velveeta cheese shells, folks.
Here's how the fried chicken turned out. I would love to know what y'all's favorite sauce to get from Chick-fil-A is. Mine is definitely the honey roasted barbecue. We served this with some macaroni and then we had some fries in the freezer. But do I think this necessarily tasted like Chick-fil-A chicken? Not exactly, but it was still delicious. On to the dessert. This is going to be a Butterfinger poke cake, and so good. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it was too good. We have here a box of yellow cake mix. I actually had this in my pantry and needed to use it up. I also got some of these Butterfingers. I only actually used 2.5 of these packs because these are the double size packs, but you want 4 bars in total. We've got an 8-ounce thing of whipped topping, 14-ounce sweetened condensed milk, and then this container of Hershey's caramel. It was also 14 ounces. To make this, you just start out with the cake mix, just making it like the box says to in the oven. And I did have my helper Grant here helping me, and then Porter helped me a little bit later too. And anytime I'm baking stuff, they like to help, and I encourage that because it's a lot of fun. And so we're just making the box cake mix, gonna bake it, and then as soon as it comes out, we'll poke holes in it for the poke cake part. A 9x13 pan for this, and I don't know why I shake it. That's just a little thing I've been doing for probably years now, where I feel like it just kind of helps it to get more level. Okay, take this and pour it in the bowl, okay? You got it?
Yeah. Like that.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, can you pour this one in there?
Yeah.
You want me to pour it?
Yeah.
You don't want to do it? You can do it. Pour it in here.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. While the cake was in the oven, we combined the sweetened condensed milk with the caramel and just blended that with the mixer until it was blended. And once the cake was out of the oven, I used this spoon and just poked holes all up in it. You could, like, no rhyme or reason, just do it however you feel, and then pour that mixture right on top of it. Crush up the Butterfingers, I put them into a Ziploc bag and then crushed them with my little miniature rolling pin. So the first layer, you sprinkle out all of those Butterfingers, then do the whipped topping, and then the layer with the rest of the Butterfingers. So 2 Butterfingers on each of those layers, under and on top of the whipped topping. What?
Good.
After you get all the Butterfingers spread out, you want to chill this in the fridge. That's when it is at its best. We actually ended up taking this to my parents' house and everybody loved it. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and would consider subscribing to stick around to see more What's for Dinner videos and grocery hauls if you are interested in that. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.